Hello everyone, Moonrider here, and in this video we'll take a look at this mechanical keyboard that Redragon was cool enough to send over. It's the K656 PRO. This keyboard is available on either Amazon or the Redragon shop for $74.99. It's packed with all sorts of tech and goodies that definitely make it worth the price. So let's jump in and see what's all offered. First off, let's take a quick note of the packaging. I've seen some keyboards and of course other pieces of tech that come in some pretty lackluster packaging. The PRO, however, is not one of those products. The outer packaging pops with color and contrast. On the front you get a large, clear visual example of the keyboard with rainbow RGB lit. Though don't worry, you are able to set it solid, but more on that later. Moving your fingers over the box, you'll notice various textures at play. For example, the white area here has more of a matte feel, while the keyboard image feels glossy. Even the Redragon logo and writing on the right side are all embossed and glossy. Needless to say, the PRO's packaging feels premium for sure. A lot of the text repeats itself on multiple sides. It repeatedly states wireless 100 keys and hot-swappable mechanical keyboard. On the top side, you'll find a list of packaging contents as well as the unit's approximate size and weight. And finally, on the back, you'll see a larger example of the keyboard, several features in various languages, which systems support the keyboard, and some photos showcasing some of those features. Now without further ado, let's get to the unboxing. I'm not sure if it's standard Redragon practice, but the PRO is double packaged. After cutting the outside sticker and pulling out one of the side flaps, you'll slide out another box. This one lacks much of the pageantry of the outer box and is only a flat black with the Redragon logo in dark gray. But flip the tab on the bottom front, lift up, and there you'll see a sleeved keyboard and a couple other bits. First, let's start with the USB cable. It's technically USB-C to USB-C, but at one end you'll find this attached adapter for USB-A connectivity, which is very convenient. It's also 5 feet long, or about 1.5 meters in length. Included next is this dual keycap and switch puller. And lastly is this box, which holds several extras of Redragon's self-produced purple tactile switches. We'll cover more on these a bit later. Next, let's get to unsheathing the rest. Redragon included a sheet of branded stickers as well as a manual, which you may find helpful given how many features are packed into this keyboard, though I'll try to cover all of them in this video. Finally, we have the K656 PRO. This keyboard looks incredible. It's pretty much a 96% keyboard with 100 keys and a reduced footprint. It's packed with LED indicators, side-mounted switches, and multimedia functioning buttons like these at the top, as well as quick access to email and more. Dimensions are 14.75 inches long and about 5.5 inches wide and almost 1.5 inches tall with kickstand feet retracted, so it will take up a decent amount of space on your desk, but not as much as a traditional full keyboard. And those kickstand feet I just mentioned, well, there's actually a double set of them, giving you 3 height options in total to choose from. And if you prefer your keyboard on the flatter side, there are 5 rubber pads at the bottom of the body to prevent the keyboard from sliding. Also visible on the underside of the keyboard are these trenches to run the USB power cord. The USB-C port is located in the middle of the keyboard, but depending on your desk layout, you can choose to run the cord straight out the back or redirect it to either side using one of the trenches. The color scheme is what Redragon calls a hype blue design. With its dark blue translucent body and gradient light to dark blue keycaps, it's easy to see how this design was inspired by the ocean. Now let's get the PRO up and running, but first you'll have to decide on your preferred connection method. The PRO has 3-mode connection technology, meaning it can connect traditionally through wired USB-C or wirelessly through either Bluetooth 3.0 and 5.0, or with the included 2.4 GHz wireless USB receiver. If you're going with the wired USB-C approach, then it's as simple as plug and play. However, if you prefer not looking at an extra cable on your desk, you can connect via Bluetooth. Just make sure if your motherboard doesn't have Bluetooth built in, you will need an adapter to use this connection method. To connect, slide the side-mounted switch on the left side of the keyboard to BT for Bluetooth. Then press function +1 and the LED marked M should start flashing blue. If you want to connect multiple devices, say to a mobile device or a tablet, press FN +2 or 3. Instead of flashing blue, the LED marked M will flash cyan or magenta. Regardless of which number you press, once the LED is flashing, turn Bluetooth on your device and scan. Now the manual said the keyboard will show up as either K656 RGB Pro 3.0 keyboard or K656 RGB Pro 5.0 keyboard, but my iPhone 14 detected it as BT 3.0-KB and BT 5.0-KB. as did my computer. Now say you aren't looking to connect to a mobile device or tablet, and you also don't want to spend money on a USB Bluetooth dongle. That's where the 2.4 GHz wireless option comes in. You'll find the USB receiver clipped to the underside of the Garand Pro's body. Pull that receiver out and slide the connection switch to 2.4G. The LED marked M should begin flashing yellow automatically, but if it doesn't, you can press FN+4 to start the process. Once the LED begins flashing, you have 20 seconds to plug the USB receiver into any USB port on your computer. The yellow LED will switch from flashing to static once the keyboard and receiver are connected. Now in terms of compatibility, the K656 Garand Pro works with Windows, Android mobile devices, and tablets and Mac. Supported Windows operating systems include XP, Vista, Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11. Mac support is strong with this keyboard as well. The Windows and Alt keys have subtext for Option and Command in smaller fonts. To use these key bindings on a Mac device, simply press FN+A to switch from Windows settings to Mac, and FN+W to switch back to Windows. Both the A and W keys have subtext for Mac and Win in smaller font, just like the Windows and Alt keys. Now that the Garand Pro is connected, we're ready to start typing. So let's take a look at the keycaps and switches. These keycaps are made of PBT plastic, a type of thermoplastic with anti-sweat stain properties, meaning your keycaps will still look social media ready even after those long hours in sweaty battle royale matches. Lettering is crisp and clearly legible on all the keycaps, although a few of the secondary function commands are a bit hard to read, mainly these three here, and I think it's due to their gray color being too similar a shade to the darker blue color of the keycap. The factory switches on the K656 Garand Pro are 3-pin tactile purples developed and produced by Redragon. They have a 55-gram actuation force and 1.1mm pre-travel distance, giving these switches a noticeable tactile feel and a strong thok that is just so satisfying. And with a lifespan rate of up to 50 million clicks, you don't have to worry about wearing these out anytime soon. But in the event you want to switch them out, the board is compatible with any 3 or 5-pin switch for the utmost versatility. But after hearing how good these sound, I'm not sure you'll want to. Have a listen. To repeat what I just said moments ago, these switches sound so satisfying. And the feel is really something you need to experience for yourself because Redragon really knocked it out of the park with these switches. Besides the switches themselves, a key player in that wonderful sound and feedback comes from the noise dampening foam just above the PCB, which absorbs the sound and resonance between the metals and reduces cavity noise. The foam is EVA and 3.5mm thick, resulting in the elimination of up to 90% of hollow sound. Now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering about RGB control and customization. Basic controls can be performed using various key commands. For instance, to cycle through the 20 static and dynamic modes, press Function plus Insert. A few select modes allow for a color change, which can be accomplished pressing Function plus Enter. And of course, brightness and dynamic speed can be controlled with Function plus up and down arrows for brightness, and Function plus left and right arrows for speed. If you want a bit more control, you can download Redragon's free software from redragonshop.com. Once the homepage is loaded, click Software towards the top. After the next page loads, you may have to scroll down a bit, then click on Keyboards. Then scroll down a bit further to find Garand K656 Pro. Then click on the keyboard, and click Software to download. After that, continue to follow your computer prompts to install. The few times I've tried using the software in 2.4G mode, I get a prompt saying the device is disconnected. So I'm not sure if you can only use this software in wired mode, but with the USB cable plugged in, I've never had any issues connecting. The software itself is pretty basic. On the left you'll see 3 profiles to save presets to, as well as a macro editor. You can also export, import, and restore profiles at the bottom left. The main area of the software shows the Garand K656 Pro. Clicking on this box opens up the full list of static and dynamic RGB modes. However, the only one you're able to customize is self-define. In that setting, each LED can be separately customized except for apparently the function key for some reason. If you want to assign colors to individual keys, you'll want to select your desired color, then click the key on the illumination to assign. However, if you want to assign color across the board, click Basic Color. And once you're done with the assignments, be sure to click Apply. With all these features and RGB settings, you must be wondering about battery life. Unfortunately, no estimate is mentioned by Redragon, however this thing is beefy at 3000 mAh. There are 4 red LEDs at the top left that indicate battery life, with each light representing 25% of said battery life. In my hours testing out and playing on this keyboard, I haven't seen it drop from 4 lights yet. Thankfully, Redragon programs some power saving modes into the Garen Pro. For example, in wireless mode, after 3 minutes at idle, the keyboard goes into power saving mode, where all the RGB shuts down, but 2.4G connectivity is still active. After 30 minutes at idle, the keyboard goes into sleep mode and everything powers down. RGB, 2.4G connectivity, all asleep until reawakened by a key press. So that's the Redragon K656 Garen Pro. I hope I've covered all the bases on this keyboard, but if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments. Also, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to the channel for more gaming setup content and tech reviews like this. Thanks for watching.